welcome back to another episode of Why Do I Do That? Today's question is, why do I feel shit about my body and then binge eat? Which is, most women that I know can relate at least some point in their life to doing this. You feel shit and then you go and do something that's going to make you feel even worse. Maybe men can relate too, I don't know. But you start to feel good in yourself and then you make it even worse by going and binge eating. And three things here. First thing is that it's kind of like self-fulfilling prophecy. You're aligning with this belief. It's coming from this like feeling shit is having this low self-worth moment or this low self-worth feeling. And when you have that low self-worth feeling, you're not really caring about your body. You're not really caring about what you're putting into your body because your value of yourself is going down. And when you're not caring about your body, you're going to put whatever you want into it. You're going to put these bad foods in and you're going to binge eat. And then it's just going to further fuel this low self-worth. So it's this cycle that we go through. Also, the vibrational matching of foods. Like I think about if you are feeling high vibe and you're feeling good, you naturally want foods in your body that are higher vibrational foods like fruits and veggies, and you're going to want those higher vibrational frequencies. Like on an energetic level, you are more attracted to that. They look better to you. They look like better options. There's so many people out there, they're like, oh, how do they eat so well all the time? But what happens is after a period of time of eating well, you're drawn to those sorts of foods because they are more of a vibrational match with you. So it's all about breaking that cycle, but it's also really all coming back down to this biggest piece today that I want to focus on is self-worth, because feeling shit about your body and then binge eating is the action, but it's not the cause. It's not the reason. It's not the thing. That's not the problem, right? The problem isn't that you feel shit about your body and you binge eat. The problem is that you have this level of lower self-worth where you even get to the point where you're feeling shit. And we've all been there. It's a natural thing that I think nearly everybody goes through, unless you're, born with a six-pack and you maintain that for the rest of your life. But I think everybody goes through these ebbs and flows in these periods. But most of my clients and most of the women that listen to me are women with low self-esteem and low self-worth. And so that is the place to start, because even the fact that you asked this question tells me that you're focusing your worth on how you look, because you're saying that the binge eating is the problem. You're saying that your body feels shit. It doesn't look good. You're placing your worth on the way that you look. And that is pretty common for most women, especially if you are a woman in your 30s who grew up in the Kate Moss era. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And, with models that were stick thin. And if you grew up in that era, then, there was such a big focus on weight and on being skinny. These days, I believe that it's more about fitness and nutrition and, actually having like a body, a proper womanly body and muscle tone and things like that. That wasn't the case. When I was younger, it was literally how skinny could you be? So the first point here is bringing it back is self-worth. And it's getting to the point where you can feel like you are enough and that you are an important person and that you matter and that you have value outside of the way that you look. And as I said, it's easier said than done when you've been programmed this way, but there are ways for you to start to unpack that. So the first things that I would look at are, where did you learn that you had to look a certain way? Where did you learn that? Was it magazines? Was it your parents? Was your mum always dieting? Was she always telling you how beautiful you are? Which is a great thing, but also sometimes not a great thing. When we get a lot of validation for being skinny and pretty and beautiful when we're little girls, as soon as we don't have that, when we get older, we lose all sense of self-worth because our entire worth and identity was wrapped around being a beautiful, skinny, pretty little girl. And so we have to find this deeper parts of ourselves. What makes you important and valuable that has nothing to do with how your fucking body and how you look and, you know, what your face looks like. And this is half the problem about filters and things on social media. It's all about the way that we look and not even, and I see some people who are so fucking smart and have really important messages to share, and they are absolute powerhouse women that have got they've got books and they've got all of this shit, and they show up on their stories and they've got these stupid filters on their face and you can't even see their face because they're so focused still on the way that they look and on like drawing their worth from the way that they look. We need to start to unpack why this is our focus, why we can't find some value and some worth in ourselves as women underneath the way that we look and the way that we show up. And on the complete flip side of that, I'm going to 100% contradict myself. Also, there is this piece around caring about our body, but from the right place. So when you ask this question, why do I feel shit about my body, and then binge eat, you're coming from the place of my body is shit. I feel shit about my body's shit. I'm not skinny enough and I'm not this enough and I'm not that enough. And it's coming from this place of I'm shit. Nothing is where it should be. Nothing's right. And that feeling of shit and that feeling of kind of unworthiness and feeling overweight is causing you to then binge eat, to just that self-fulfilling prophecy piece. But it's also looking at, why aren't we focusing on, I want to feel good in my body to be able to do the things that I want to do. Like I want to have a good level of energy. I want to have a good level of vitality to be able to achieve X, Y, Z, not just about, again, the way that we look. And so if we can get outside of this, like the way that our body looks versus the way that we're currently feeling. Because if you're feeling good in life, it shouldn't really matter the way that your body looks. So the second point that I want to talk about is when you feel shit about your body, in your words, in this person's words, and then you binge eat, I can almost guarantee that there is a feeling that's coming up. So you look in the mirror, right? And you look at your body and you think, I look disgusting today. Common thought I've had often. You think, I feel disgusting today. So what underneath that is the feeling? What's the feeling that's coming up with the thought? And for me, that would be shame. Disgust and shame are kind of hand in hand. It would be this feeling of shame. And if you think about energetic frequencies, shame is on the scale of consciousness, on an actual scientific frequency level, the feeling of shame is the lowest on the scale. Like it's lower than death, which I don't even know how that's possible, but you are vibrating at lesser frequency when you're feeling shame than when you're actually physically dead. Shame is the most toxic, worst feeling that you can feel. Now, if you're waking up in the morning and you're looking in the mirror and you're feeling this low frequency, low vibrational feeling of shame when you're looking at your body and when you're jumping in the shower and then when you're getting dressed and you're thinking, I look disgusting and these clothes don't fit and look at my cellulite and look at this and look at that, and you're feeling this feeling of shame, the foods, again, as I mentioned earlier, the foods that are a vibrational match are not healthy foods. The foods that are a vibrational match are dead foods, are processed foods, are foods that aren't even foods. That's what you're drawn to because that is the energetic level that you are on at the moment. And so the quickest, easiest way to fix this is to look at, one, the thought, and two, the feeling. One, the thought being, I am disgusting. And this is what I do. This is exactly what I do because I go through periods like where I don't work out and I've got extra weight on and I just don't feel good. And life catches up with me, but I still know I'm important and I'm worthy. And if I have these thoughts coming in where I'm like, you've put on weight, you're disgusting, yada, 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 I'll catch them and I'll be like, okay, That's not productive. That's not healthy. That's going to send me into a shame spiral. How can I flip this? And so I take the thoughts and I remind myself, be a little bit easier on yourself, Jess. You've been super busy lately. You're running a business, you've got 2 kids, you've got all of these things. Just be a little bit easier on yourself. And then I'll say something kind to myself, like, your skin looks really good today, or whatever it is. I'll say something kind to myself. I'll catch the thought and I'll be like, I'm not disgusting. I just feel a little bit disgusting at the moment, but I can change that. It's in my control to change that. So straight away, I've grabbed the thought and I've got some nice little flips. I've got some things that I can tell myself that are the opposite. And I've got a little bit of a plan, and I've got taking a little bit of control back over the situation, because when you just feel yuck and you let yourself go into the shame spiral, you lose control, which is why you eat. So I take back control. I change the thoughts. And I also then look at my vibrational frequency. So I go, okay, I know that I've gone down into low. I'm feeling low. I'm feeling the shame, the disgust, all of that come up. So what do I need to do now to raise my vibration? And the things that I know that I do to raise my vibration, funnily enough, is like I'll go to the organic shop and I'll get a heap of produce and I'll put it through my cold press juicer and I'll get all of those nutrients back into my body. I'll dance, I'll shake, I'll put on my favorite music, whatever it is, I'll raise my vibration. And 9 times out of 10, I will just have a great day. It won't bring me down. It won't make me binge eat. It'll actually do the opposite, and it will set me onto a new path. But again, the important thing to note here is that it's not on a new path. It used to be, for me, if I'm being brutally honest, it used to be, I look disgusting today, I'm not going to eat. When I was in my 20s, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to fast. I just go crazy intense into exercise. If I started to feel a little bit not good in myself, I would punish myself. And here is the difference, right? I am nourishing myself now. I am being easy on myself, and I naturally want to put good foods into my body because of those shifts, versus I used to punish myself. And so the way that you've asked the question of like, why do I feel shit and then binge eat? I can already tell that you would be punishing yourself. You're pissed off at yourself that you do it, which is why you've asked the question. And you're probably constantly beating yourself up in this cycle of like, oh, I did it again. I'm so shit. I can't stick to anything. And you go into this like punishment cycle. What happens is we go through this little period where we punish ourselves, and then you might get really motivated. You might go to gym. You think that you're like looking after yourself and you're just trying to, get fit girl summer or whatever, but I don't even know what the sayings are these days. You can tell I'm old now. Whatever it is, hot girl summer. You're trying to get ready for, that, or you've got this, I'm going to shred. I'm going to just go out and smash it and get best bod ever. But what's actually happening is you're punishing yourself, because it started from this moment where you're like, I'm disgusting, I'm fat, I'm yuck, I'm whatever. And you might not think it matters, but it does matter, because the longevity of that situation is based off where it came from. And if it comes from hate for yourself, and it comes from anger towards yourself, and it comes from all of this negativity, and your drive is that you can't feel that way and you don't want to be disgusting and you want to prove that you're not, and you don't want to, if it's coming from that, it's not going to last, which is why you probably go in the circles. So it has to come from this good place of like, I want to be the best that I can. I want to feel good. I want to have good energies. I want to achieve things with my life. I want to be vibrant. I want to have vitality. I want to have, energy to take on new projects or play with my kids or whatever it is. That needs to be, you need to have like a value, a deep core value that's drawing it, because if the deep core value is I'm disgusting and I'm a piece of shit, then it's not going to last very long. So dig into your why and see if you can find some deeper whys that are beyond this like physical having to look good. See if there's some deeper core values there that can like really pull you towards those goals, because there is nothing wrong with wanting to look good. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be fit and healthy and have a body that you're proud of. Nothing wrong with that. But it has to come from a clean, good place, and not from this punishment cycle and this toxicity and this hatred for yourself. So if you know somebody who's doing this cycle, if you know somebody who is punishing themselves, who feels shit about their body, please send this episode on to them. I know even one little thing that I've said today will hopefully help.